All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to What Your Friends Won't Tell You. We're starting our stream about a minute before the actual show. We just want to make sure everything is up and running. Our mics are working. You can see us. So our actual show is going to start right at the top at 2 o'clock. We've got our whole crew here. We have Bruce and Jean. Bruce from Jaggers Technology Services and Jean, who's behind the camera from 1331 Creative. We have Shannon Thompson-Jones.
Hey. 30 seconds.
The most amazing licensed psychotherapist and host of What Your Friends Won't Tell You.
Joined with the amazing Suzanne Boyd.
And what I'm going to do right now, so Shannon, why don't you talk? Okay. Or not, or you don't have to talk. What I'm going to do right now is share our live stream on my Suzanne Boyd page, because I just want to make sure that it's all over the place. And that can be the thing that you guys do that would be amazing for us if you would share our stream as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so make sure you share.
4, 3,
okay, we're going live
2,
now.
1, headline trolls.
On today's episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You, the money taboo, why we hate talking about it and dealing with it, the connection to your childhood, how to get over the fear of your finances and finally become money savvy and, dare we say, abundantly wealthy, the unconventional resource Suzanne is using to clean up her finances. You want to go first, Shannon?
No, I want you to go first.
And what Shannon recently did, that's a game changer. Plus, the styling tool we're calling the best thing ever. What Your Friends Won't Tell You starts right now. Today's episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You is brought to you by Banyan Global Investment Advisors in Boca Raton. Well, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to What Your Friends Won't Tell You. It is episode 54.
Wow,
I know.
that's
hard to believe I've been doing it for that long.
It's a long time.
All right, and today we are talking about a topic that will probably make a lot of you cringe.
Yes.
We are talking about money. Money. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suzanne Boyd.
And I'm Shannon Thompson-Jones, and it is a new year and a new you, and we're going to start talking about things that affect you in this new year, and money is definitely one. I, for one, would like to see things in the money category go better in 2019.
That's right. 2019 is all about abundance,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, when Shannon and I were preparing for this show, because we really are all about talking about things from sort of from a spiritual angle, and everything's spiritual, isn't it?
Yes.
But really what we wanted to do was talk about, you know, where this fear of money comes from. And when Shannon and I were talking about this, we said, you know, this really is about your childhood. It's connected to your childhood.
Yes.
And I thought that was so interesting that you said that, because I really started to think about how my parents, what their relationship was with money, you know, and what I saw from them. And for my dad, you know, I know that he loved going to work. He was a farmer, and then he got into politics, and he really enjoyed it. And really, I didn't have any guilt or fear surrounding money. He handled things very well. My mother, on the other hand, had a huge guilt surrounding money. Like, we would go shopping, and first of all, we lived in the boondocks in the middle of nowhere, and we would go shopping in Tallahassee, and she would buy stuff for us, and she would try on a shirt and have such guilt about buying it for herself. And no, we didn't make a lot of money, but she could have afforded the shirt for herself.
Right.
You know, and she also ran the farm, like all the financials and the books for the farm. So I think that I saw a lot of angst with her surrounding doing the bills and doing the payroll and doing all the financials. She didn't like it.
Right.
And it really stressed her out, and she had this kind of fear over it, which I thought was really interesting. What about you?
Which you were witnessing.
Which I was witnessing.
So we don't think about that, but as children, we're witnessing everything that our parents are doing with money. So my mom was a single mom by the time I was 10, and the word in my home was struggle. Yeah. Everything was a struggle, but the money would show up at the last minute. So the theme was kind of like struggle, pray about it. It was spiritual, so pray about it. And then the money, I swear, if there was something, $500 was due on Tuesday, she'd receive it on Monday.
Right.
So there's always a lot of anxiety around money. And so, you know, over time, it's like if you ever have money, then you have to feel guilty because you feel bad for people who don't have money. So it's just a lot of struggle. And then my dad, I'm thinking of the nicest term, frugal. frugal.
You can say cheapskate.
He was very frugal,
Right.
and he wanted to find the best deals. So there was a lot of, so from my mom it was fear and struggle, and from my dad it was
penny pincher.
Yeah, and why are you spending $7 on tennis shoes? Like there's got to be cheaper tennis shoes, Which there wasn't cheaper tennis shoes. cheaper
Where are those $7
Where? We were in
tennis shoes?
Kmart. I don't think we were going to get any cheaper, but he was always trying to save and his own fear. And my mom was just holding her breath, praying that the money would show. So a lot of energy around money.
Yeah, and so I think that really sets up your relationship, your current relationship with money. We were talking about this, and I've said it before that, I just hate talking about it. When I talk to the woman who does my investment, she gives me a list of things she needs from me. In fact, she gave me a list back in September. Do you know what I've done with that list? Not one thing. I haven't given her any of those documents.
Under the mattress where you can't see it.
Needs. I'm like, okay, I'll do that later when I have time. Like, you never have time.
No.
And the other thing that, that I've really been, that I do a lot of is when I put, I pay my bills, and I do pay my bills. I don't let those pile up. But what I do let pile up is the things that need to be filed. So I just have this like stack of stuff that needs to be like, like flood insurance policies and, insurance cards and those sort of things that I need to deal with, but I just don't.
It's so overwhelming.
It's so
and it's like you just want to just close your eyes
close
and pay things.
I literally close the door to the office and don't even think about it.
Right. Pay it quickly and then just get rid of it. Don't deal with it. I think for me, I think one of the things we do in our childhood is we have these experiences and then we make a decision about how it's going to be for us when we get older. It's really fascinating. You're 7, 8, you're watching this struggle or whatever, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not gonna
do that.
Right? I'm not gonna.
Well, that's funny because I don't do the guilt over buying anything. I definitely don't have my mom's guilt.
Exactly. So you made a decision at that point of, I'm gonna buy whatever I want, and I'm not gonna do that, and you have no problem doing that. But you still got the angsty around money with the paying the bills. So for me, I think I decided, I don't want to be poor, right? So I did a lot of college and studying and really wanted to be, successful. And the other thing is, when I have money, I burn it. It's like, instead of being afraid, I never thought about saving for the future or putting aside. It's like, I have it, and I never wanted my kids to feel like we didn't have it because that was so painful for me. So yes, we've got money. Yeah, we can go to the movies. We can go to dinner. Let's spend it, right? And not think anything about the future or retirement or any of those things, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's different too. I think when you, we are obviously at my house, and someone's honking outside. So that's what you just heard. But it's interesting that, God, I just love the honk guy made me lose my train of thought.
I know. Welcome to the 40s.
We're
going to do this a lot,
right? I know. But it's interesting because I think that, your relationship with money currently has to do with whether or not you're saving for the future or what you did. I mean, for me, I was a worker bee my whole life. So, and my dad always taught me, you got to put your money away. You got to put it into a 401k. So I did that. So that was, a thing that I did. But for you, you started saving.
Just recently, I think, again, if I would have focused on 401k and all those things, in my mind, I would have had to struggle to give the kids everything they wanted and to do what we needed to do. It would have felt like I can't put aside $300 a week, or I can't put aside, then I'll be struggling, which was definitely, just like you with your mom, something I was never gonna do, right? So I didn't even think about it. And then I kind of came out of my trance recently as my daughter's in college. I'm like, hello, it's time. So, I reached out to somebody and started, little investment, per week type thing. And I don't even feel it. And I'm really mad.
I know.
That I didn't do it 20 years ago.
I know. And when I do, do things and make financial decisions and file all those things, like when I finally get a day and I do what I'm supposed to be doing, I feel so good and so relieved, and like a weight has been lifted off of me. And it's never as hard as I think it's going to be.
Because like we talk about, it's old stuff. It's not current. It's not in the now. Like I mean, knock on wood, I really haven't struggled in my life as an adult. I mean, when I was a kid, definitely, but it's not real. But my body doesn't know that.
You've always had shelter. You've always had food.
Yeah. Nice shelter, nice food, nice car.
Nice car.
Yeah, always. And I feel so blessed. But then there's this fear that you could lose it any minute. And the other thing that's funny is when people make mention of it. Like I have a bestie that she loves to razz me, and so And when I get a new car, whatever, she'll go, "Oh, Acura,
Fancy.
not a mini." Yeah, it's like, look at you.
Right.
And I go into a spin, and I will tell everyone, it's just a lease.
Right.
It's like, it's not really mine. I can't really afford it. You know, all the shame now that I have any money,
Right.
because I know what it was like. It's like you said earlier, like, I'm still Jenny from the
You're
block.
still Shannon from the block.
Like, don't worry, I
promise I used to be poor.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten what it's like, you know.
Right.
So it's like now it's like guilt.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so we're not just here to tell you about all the angst that we had growing up surrounding money, because we know that our stories probably resonate with a lot of you, but we're also here to kind of give you some tools about how to deal with this fear over finances and to finally let go of all of that stuff so that you can really take care of your money, become money savvy and wealthy.
And
you know?
abundant.
Abundant.
Yes,
That's what
bring
we're
it.
talking about. So we're going to open up Shannon's toolbox next. You're watching What Your Friends Won't Tell You. Shannon and I started What Your Friends Won't Tell You because we wanted a way to put out good content in a raw and authentic format. We don't script our shows, and we are pretty honest about what's going on in our lives and the mistakes that we've made in the past. You know, we want these shows to bring you joy and the feeling that you're not alone and that you can handle life's challenges with grace and a little bit of humor. But we also want this show to succeed. So if you own a local business and would like us to bring What Your Friends Won't Tell You and all the social media exposure that comes with it to your business, or if you want to support us through advertising, contact me, Suzanne, at WYFWTY.com. That's the acronym for What Your Friends Won't Tell You. That's Suzanne at WYFWTY.com. Thank you. All right, this episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You is brought to you by Banyan Global Investment Advisors in Boca Raton. They are really amazing people. We got to meet Danny and Lori and Vanessa over the last couple of weeks, and we really, really, really appreciate their support. So we would appreciate if you would support our supporters.
Yes, yes.
So thank you, Banyan Global Investment Advisors and Danny.
Yes.
All right, now before the break, we were talking about how our relationship with money was connected to our childhood and how it really impacted us in how we deal with money today. Right. So we want to open up Shannon's toolbox now to give us some advice and some of the tools that that you use to kind of deal with your fear of finances.
Well, the first thing I want to say before I just move right into that is that bringing up that this is from your childhood is so important, because if you're stuck financially, you need to look back there. Like, we just kind of tipped you off a little bit, but go back to what it was like and what you learned, and that goes right into the first one of my toolbox is you need to run, don't walk, to a financial planner, a financial advisor, because these are the individuals that are not afraid. These are the individuals that break everything down and make it comfortable and cozy and can explain it to you and take away your fears and hold your hand. And that, Suzanne, was one of the things I loved about Danny Rich, which, by the way, I love that name. It's a financial advisor.
Danny
and it's
Rich.
Danny Rich.
Yes.
That's who you want to go to, right?
Right.
He will
doesn't
teach you,
spell it like the common rich,
right,
but yes.
but it's pronounced
Rich.
rich, which means he will teach you how to make money.
Right.
But what I loved about what he got, which I think is so important, is money is so scary for people.
Yes.
And he said a lot of what we do is handhold and process emotion and talk to people about their fears and just help walk them through the pitfalls and the difficulties emotionally, not just telling them all the details about an IRA and a Roth and 401k and all that stuff, but really talking to them about what scares them and what their future and what they want with money. So please, first and foremost, run, don't walk to a financial planner. Danny Rich is wonderful, and to help you.
And find one that you really trust. I mean, you know, I actually found a woman that I loved, and because I'd been to financial advisors before, and some of them make you feel like like they're smarter than you, and that might be the case.
Yes.
But you want someone that really listens to you, and and this isn't about having $500,000.
No.
Like, you need to go talk to someone, no matter what you're making, no
matter
matter
how much
what
you
you have saved. They can really put you on a path to getting the earnings that you want. Not getting the earnings that you want, but getting the savings that you want.
And doubling. Like, if you only have 20, let's make it 40, because if you're doing nothing with it, you're not going to increase it. So they can teach you the hows. And one of the other things that Danny said is, for people to really, don't do anything you don't understand. And that really shows me the kind of person that he is. He wants to make it clear for people and help them understand.
Yeah, and the other thing that he said that I didn't know this, he said your money should double every 10 years.
Wow.
Which I was like, wow, okay, so I guess that's the goal of
Yeah.
if you go to an investment advisor, that your money should be doubling every 10 years. All right, what's your next tool, Shannon?
Pay yourself first.
Yeah.
And this, I remember when somebody said this to me that was in the financial world, and I was like, it was so powerful because that is the exact opposite of what I always do, right? I pay my bills and I worry and I take care of my kids and I buy everybody stuff and I take everybody to dinner and I do everything and I never think of myself, you know, little splash of codependency. That's another episode.
Splash, that's full blown, Shannon, just a splash.
But it never occurred to me to pay myself first. And then the second thing that I would go into is I can't pay myself first. I can't afford to pay myself first. Like I can't afford. And what I've learned, even just with talking to Danny, is if you are a waitress making $400 cash a week, if you put $20, pay yourself first in an envelope, that's going to add up over a year, 5 years, 10 years. You're going to have a little nest egg there.
Yeah, and time is your biggest ally.
Yes.
You know, like we talked about. I mean, even if you didn't start in your 20s or your 30s, you know, it's now time to start.
Absolutely.
Because it's never too late.
It all is going to add up.
Especially when you hear you can double your money every 10 years, you know?
That's amazing. Oh, boy, there's some time lost there. Not gonna think about that. Thanks, Suzanne.
Don't go back, Shannon.
No. Moving forward.
That's right. All right, your next tool.
The third thing is to create systems and then ask for help in implementing those systems. So, you know, asking for help is so critically important. And the systems, like, you know, you and I were talking on the phone. And it's
we were talking in your car,
oh,
remember?
That's right. Yes. And we were talking about, you know, what she was just sharing about the bills and she was sharing about, you know, paying them and how overwhelming. And it's just so amazing how all of us have different things. Yeah. Because for me, I was smiling to myself. I'm like, wow, I've got like pieces of paper labeled with the date that it's due, like in sections
with the bill behind
it in order, so that I've created a system where every week I can sit down on Sunday morning, grab that stack, 2 seconds, pay it, and be done. I don't have to figure it because I've got a system. Yeah. And what I thought immediately is, my system's so easy. Like, why can't I help you? Why, you know, I didn't know. Like, won't you let me help you? Because once we implement this, yeah, and I'm going to, because it's easy. It's fun for me. It's not fun for you. Yeah. And that's the thing with asking for help, is going to people for things that they love to do that you don't love to do, and you help each other out.
Yeah, and Shannon also told me something that she said was a game changer for when she went to pay off her debt, about the system that she used for that. Right. And I thought that was brilliant. So what did you do?
So, you know, I'm not really proud to announce, but you know, I had a lot of debt. There were times when I was a single mom where you swipe, okay, Home Depot,
that was me in
Office Depot, right. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day, you're like 2,000, 5,000, 3,000. It's like, whoa, that adds up to 20,000 or 10,000. I think it's something that is happening a lot for people. So once you look at 10,000 or 20,000, there's no way you're paying it off. You just think you can't do it. So the system is, I want you to line up all those bills. Let's say you have 10 bills. Take a piece of paper, line up all the bills, look at the balances. Put them in order from lowest to highest, and then on the side column, put the interest rate. You want to start with the lowest bill. Most people wouldn't think of that, but the lowest balance. The lowest balance. So if you owe 200, 500, 700, the first bill you're going to pay is 200. But if you glance at 200, 500 and 700, and the 700 has an APR of 35.
You need to pay that first.
You might want to select that one first, but you want to start with the low balance and the highest APR, and then you pick one. That bill, you pay as much extra money as you have. You have an extra $200 a month, you pay that. Then you just pay the minimums on everything else. The next thing you know, in a month or two, that 200, it's gone. Yeah. And the reason it's so important to do it this way is because when you do it this way, you feel successful. I know for working with ADD people, if you don't feel like you're making headway, you are done with it.
That's me.
Right? You're like,
I close the door.
Yeah, you literally go back to bed. It's like you make your list, you're like, I'm not. So if you can pay off 2 or 3 bills in 3 or 4 months, now you're excited and you're getting passionate. You're watching them drop off. Now you have 4 bills instead of 7, and now, you know, and then you get to that $5,000 bill, you don't have anything else to pay, so you're hitting it every month with all the money that you had to pay all those other bills before. Now you've got $300 to pay on that bill, and before you know it, it's paid off.
We always want to give you resources too. You know, I think there's a lot of great books, there's a lot of great apps, there's a lot of great people that you can talk to. So first of all, we want to tell you about something that Danny told us about from Banyan Global Investment Advisors. It's this website, which we're going to put across the bottom, broker.finra.org. So once you do decide to go to an investment advisor, you really need to check them out. They're not all reputable, but you can go to this website and check and see if there are any complaints about the broker that you've chosen. So that's a good place to start. The second thing that he told us about is to create a budget.
Yes.
And there's an app called You Need a Budget. It's YNAB, Y-N-A-B, You Need a Budget. And it's an app, and it's also online, and it's a really simple tool to create a budget.
Yes, so that you don't feel so overwhelmed with it. Yes.
The other thing he sent us was a book called Learn to Earn, and that is by Peter Lynch. And this book, he said, is a really common sense look at investing. So if you're looking to start investing, this book, A Beginner's Guide to the Basics of Investing and Business by Peter Lynch. And so take a look at that. And this is the tool that I am using. It is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Now, this is a little bit unconventional to talk about when we're dealing with finances. But if you read this book, I'm telling you, it will change everything for you. This is about a Japanese woman who created a method to declutter and organize your home. Wow. And she has an entire section on documents, bills, finances, like how to get all of that stuff in order. Wow. And I'm telling you, like, she actually has a Netflix show right now that I'm obsessed with. This is it right here. And these people are hoarders. But anyway, yes. But she goes into people's homes and does her method with them, and it improves their relationships. It improves their home life. It improves their finances, because when you start to declutter and really get your things in order, you will notice that things start to change in your life.
Because it's completely emotional.
Yes.
Hoarding and clutter and all of that is about what's on the outside is a reflection of what's going on the inside. So it's going to be powerful.
So this probably isn't something you need, because you're very organized and you have a system, but this, for someone like me who does not have any systems and just like waits until everything's completely coming out of the office.
Listen, there's a disorder for all of us. Mine is the OCD, right? So that's why I'm like order. So it's, believe me, I drive people crazy as well.
So anyway, if you have a problem with organizing, go check out The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It is an amazing book. All right, coming up, we have the best thing ever. And I want to take a look at this picture, okay? This is Shannon with curly hair on the left, and then after she used this styling tool, that is her hair on the right. And she says it is the best thing ever, so she's going to tell us what it is and show us what it is coming up. You're watching What Your Friends Won't Tell You. We believe in places where we visit, where we shop, where we know that they're going to treat you right. All right, so when you first walk into ACP Home Interiors, the first thing you'll notice is that it feels like home. And I wish there was smell-o-vision in here, because it smells delicious. It's the candles, and these candles are the best that I've ever used. They last forever, and they smell delicious. Now, obviously, they have, as you can tell, stunning furniture here at ACP Home Interiors. In fact, my entire house is furnished by ACP.
We're giving people something that they can actually touch, they can feel, and that they can enjoy, and that they say, that is exactly what I want to bring it home now.
What makes ACP special is that we have different things every time you come in this store.
People walk in the store, the first thing they say is, what is that smell? Your store smells amazing. Which candle is that? What fragrance is it? It's a mixture of scents. However, when you get one scent that you really love, the lines that we sell, you become addicted. They're fabulous. They're fabulous, and they're lines we've carried for a long, long time.
We go on shopping trips worldwide, so you'll always find something unique in the store.
We really work primarily out of our store because we're a one-stop shop. We have everything from lighting, rugs, bedding, everything that you need in your home. So we can pretty much get it here. If we don't have it in the store, most of the times we can order it.
By far, though, one of my favorite things in the store is the bedding. I mean, check this out. It is luxurious. It's American and European made, but it's also comfortable and cozy and very clean looking. And the best part about it is it's washable. So don't forget to support your local businesses, shop local. All right, so we thank ACP Home Interiors for being one of our sponsors, and we also thank Banyan Global Investment Advisors. They are bringing us this episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You. Thank you to Danny and Lori and Vanessa at Banyan Global Investment Advisors in Boca Raton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now it is time for
the best thing ever.
I love this segment.
It is
I'm sorry, I just love it.
It's fun.
All right, and Shannon has the best thing ever today because she's been using the styling tool, and I'm telling you, her hair's been looking amazing.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm excited about how it's looking, but let's get real. Let's talk about time.
Yes.
And let's talk about I'm old and holding these arms
Stop,
up.
you
and
are not old.
But you know, I mean, if you have thick hair that's
Yes.
curly, it is a project with that. I don't know how hairdressers do it. I just sit in awe when they do my hair every now and then.
Yeah, your hair is really
it's
thick.
a lot. And they just whittle that brush and that. And I'm like,
I literally have no hair.
I can't
so
do it. I can't do the whole curly brush
Right.
hold. I'm not coordinated. It's
Right.
it's really bad.
Right.
So then they invented this, which is like a one-step.
That thing looks phallic. Just gonna say it. I'm sorry.
I'm
It does.
disappointed in where Suzanne went. I'm disappointed, but we're going to stay focused. This is a fashion product.
That's where I went.
Move your children, cover their ears. Anyway, it is a one-step hair dryer volumizer, and look at the end of this because it's cylindrical. It's oval.
Yeah.
And so if you go on and you try to buy one, there'll be some that are small and round. I prefer the cylindrical oval.
She doesn't prefer small and round. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
So it needs to
I'm
be
starting to get blush.
wider. and so this is instead of a brush and a hairdryer, inappropriate she is. Instead of the brush and the hairdryer, you just use one thing. And I'm telling you, this thing
It plugs in.
It plugs in. It gets so hot that your hair is done in 5 minutes. It is usually a 15 to 20 minute project.
Where do you buy that thing?
I believe it's on Amazon, right?
Okay, yeah,
and there's
everything's on Amazon.
Okay, but I mean, all right. So now she's challenging me technologically. I'll let you cover that spot. I just can tell you, find it, get it. It works. It's amazing.
So we looked it up on Amazon. It is there. There's some weird company that makes this one. It's what, like?
This one doesn't even have the
a
label, but the
name.
one that is on there has a weird name on it.
Yeah.
Look for the hot pink cylindrical.
Yeah.
Oval. However,
Put in one step
hair
hair
dryer
dryer and volumizer.
volumizer. Yes.
Revlon, I think, makes one. I mean, it's all the same product. It's
Right.
just different names on
I
it.
overpaid, which I was informed by our producer.
Because she saw it on a Facebook ad.
Sucker.
But I mean, they go from anywhere from like $30 to like $50.
I paid $50 and
Yeah.
they're on there for $25 or $30.
Yeah.
But it was amazing because not only that, but it saved 15 to 20 minutes in a 5-minute job. And then the flat iron process, 2 minutes. Because it really makes it smooth.
yeah.
It really gets to the root of the curl. If you have curls, you have to have this.
You know,
It's a
every
must-have.
episode too, besides the best thing ever, we want to bring you a mantra that has really been working in our lives. And I, you know, when we started doing the mantras in our shows, I felt like we got a little too long for some of them. So I said, let's just keep them like 2 or 3 words, like that people can repeat, And so for this one, Shannon said, well, I use one all the time, and it's really helped me in my life. So what is the mantra that you?
I am abundantly wealthy.
Yeah.
Right? I am
And repeating
abundantly
that.
wealthy. Yes, I repeat it several times a day. And my husband is not as woo-woo as I am.
Most
And so
husbands are not as woo-woo as we
most
are.
people are not.
Right.
That so I told him that, he was dragging down the team. And I said, you
gotta
step
say,
it. I said, you gotta step it up, man. I said, if I'm gonna manifest this, you can't be dragging down the team.
The husband's right there.
Yeah. So I made him say this, and he came home freaked out. because he literally was at work and he saw money that was going down the sidewalk, that he literally like $5, $10 on the sidewalk. That weekend, people gave us free things everywhere we went. Who gives away their fast passes in Disney or Universal? Like, those are coveted.
Right.
People handed them to us. Hey, we don't want these. Do you want them? Universal tickets. Somebody was like, oh, well, we just bought too many. My wife bought them and I bought them, so I'll just sell them for half price. We're like, what? I mean, we got given a free appetizer in the restaurant that weekend, so he's a believer now. He's no longer dragging down the team.
You might want to start using that I'm abundantly wealthy mantra.
Yes.
All right, once again, we want to thank you to our sponsor, Banyan Global
so
Investment
much,
Advisors,
Danny.
Danny,
Yes.
Rich, and Lori, and
Yeah,
Vanessa.
they're wonderful.
They're really, really wonderful people.
Run, don't walk.
Run, don't walk to your
them.
investment advisor.
Yes.
And also, I want to thank Periwinkle in Delray Beach. They are now going to start providing us with clothing for our show, so we'll look hot.
Yes, yes.
So my shirt actually today and my stunning gold earrings for money were provided by Periwinkle in Delray Beach, which is right on Atlantic. I know.
Those.
Which is right on Atlantic Avenue, so go check them out.
Wow.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and
podcast.
YouTube, and we're on a podcast.
Yes.
We are everywhere.
Yep.
Thank you to Brendan Hirsch, our IT guy, for making sure we're up everywhere. There he is. There's Brendan. Can we show Brendan? And I guess, yeah, there he is. Hi, Brendan.
If you're having any trouble with IT, just hire a high school...
A 17-year-old.
Yeah, a 17-year-old brilliant person. That's the way we roll.
They all know how to do things
Yes.
that we don't. And thank you all for watching and supporting What Your Friends Won't Tell You. We really, really appreciate you taking the time this afternoon to watch us live. And we hope you all have an amazing day.
Amazing day.
We'll catch you
amazing
back
weekend.
here next week. Bye, guys. Thanks to our crew, too. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
All right, bye.